What's going on, guys? This is No Filter, a Nintendo podcast, and here's my review for Mages of Mystralia for Nintendo Switch. Mages of Mystralia, I would say, is most akin to games like the top-down Legend of Zelda games. You know, it's got the puzzle solving, it's got the action gameplay, and it's definitely a lot of fun. On Nintendo Switch, I think the best part for it being on Nintendo Switch is the pick up and play aspect, obviously, and I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo pushes the next Zelda game to have even more of a pick up and play aspect, similar to what this game kind of has. One of the good things, and probably the best feature in this game, is the way it makes you feel like an actual mage. So this game was funded on a Kickstarter a while ago, it's been funded outside of that, and it's been in development for a long time, and the quality is really high. You know, I think it made over $250,000 on Kickstarter. It has some great orchestral music. The graphics look very beautiful, very colorful. I love the cartoony, almost cel-shaded look. It looks very pretty. But the best aspect still on top of that is the combat system. The combat system actually makes you feel like a mage here. So essentially the story in the game, you're a young kid and she is in her village, and just so happens all of a sudden her mage powers kind of come in and she ends up burning down a portion of the village there. So people exile her, and she finds a mage master that finds her as she's leaving her village. He's called there. He was realized that that this is a mage that's a coming up mage, and he needs to train her correctly. So she kind of ends up going on her own adventure and kind of learning how to be a mage herself anyway, and that is you. And it's a lot of fun when you're finding new runes and spells to use. So at the very start of the game, which is probably a fault, it kind of takes quite a bit of time for it to really pick up, but essentially you'll find a rune, you learn that rune, and you can now use that ability. So say one of them would be just swinging your wand or your staff, but then you might get a rune that would add a certain ability onto that. So then that staff that you're now swinging might also have an electrical effect attached to it as well. But then you might find another rune later, which then adds on top of that. So now instead of just swinging your staff and just swinging your staff with an electrical aspect to it, now it might also have an explosion. But then you might also find another random rune that would say that now this explosion is random, and it might have a higher ability and then a lower ability, and it's just randomly generated. There's other abilities like, say, shooting fire. At the start, you might just be able to conjure up fire in front of you, and it's literally just a flame sitting there on the ground. But then you might find the rune for moving the elements. So now all of a sudden, you shoot fire out from the staff, and it moves in a straight direction. However, you might find a rune later which allows that rune or that fire to home in on enemies, or maybe it does a large curve to the right, which might help you solve certain puzzles. There might be a different one that increases the speed of the fire, or there's a different ability for conjuring up ice or wind, and there's all these different elements and runes that you can find throughout the game that increase and add on. Think of it like almost like the Resident Evil suitcase, where like you kind of fit in all your your gun and your ammo and stuff like that. Think of it like that, but each different spell, like so for the fire or for ice or for the attack with the staff, you'll have a set amount of things that you can kind of create a path with and put the runes onto each other so that they increase in the abilities that they have. So it is a lot of fun to experiment with. You can do some pretty crazy things, and a lot of these interesting puzzles come into play here, and it really is one of the more intriguing parts of this game, and it's done extremely well. Again, it might take a little bit too long for it to really pick up, but I think this is a fantastic aspect to this game and really made the game for me. I really enjoyed it. Outside of that, again, the story is actually really good. It does make you feel like you're kind of a mage kind of coming up. A lot of people hate mages, but as you start saving people and going against kind of like the monarch, kind of like the large, the kings and stuff like that are kind of oppressing you and your kind, a lot of people end up respecting you. You meet different people. It's a lot of fun like that, and it really does have an interesting story that you can kind of follow along with, as well as just having that really good sense of kind of growing as a mage yourself. It does have a lot of really cool boss battles as well. Some of the enemies look really cool. The combat itself, again, is just really good. But yeah, some of the boss battles look really cool. I just love the whole look and design to everything. Again, the music's really good as well. And yeah, I just can't say enough about it. I'm kind of surprised by how mixed some of these reviews are for the game. When I'm totally going to recommend this game. I think it's a fantastic game. But yeah, maybe just take a look. If you're not into games like Zelda, maybe obviously this might not be for you. I'm just trying to wonder why, because I'm not seeing a lot of the complaints that some people might have for this game. I can see that some people might have it, but I just don't see that it would be to an extent that the game would be, on like a number scale would be getting 6s or even 7s. I feel like this is an 8 and up game for sure. It's just really well made. And I want to thank Borealys Games for sending the review code. They did provide that, but again, this game is definitely worth a buy, because obviously, as you guys know, I really mainly review games that I am having a lot of fun with, and that this is definitely the case. And so there it is, guys. That's my review for Mages of Mystralia for Nintendo Switch. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time.